Hi friends, in this video we are going to learn about how to write the quadratic form corresponding to this matrix A. So here in last video we have learned how to write the matrix notation corresponding to the quadratic form Q. Now in this video reverse, how to write the quadratic form Q equal to something algebraic expression by using this matrix A. So this is the matrix A is of order 3 cross 3. So here there exists, so corresponding to this matrix, so this is the, let's say here I am taking x1, x2 and x3 is the column vector of order 3 row and 1 column. So here, so we have to take one, that is x transpose of this is, that is x1, x2 and x3 is a row vector having 1 row and 3 column. So here how to write the quadratic form corresponding to this matrix A. So here the quadratic form corresponding to A is Q equal to x transpose A and x. So here A is a matrix of order 3 cross 3. Here x is the column vector of order 1 cross 3. So here A is a matrix of order 3 cross 3. So here x is a column vector of order 3 row and 1 column. So here x transpose is a row vector of order 1 cross 3. So here I will take, so write x equal to, x transpose is equal to, let's say x1, x2 and let's say x3. So here A is matrix of order 3 cross 3, that is given. Right here 2 1 5 1 3 minus 2 5 minus 2, that is 4, and here x is column vector, that is here x1 x2 and this is x3. So here just matrix multiplication. So here first multiply this matrices, first row first column. So here this is the matrix of order row 1 means row 1 and row column 3, 1 cross 3. So this is the matrix of order 3 cross 3. So resultant matrix is 1 cross 3 again. So here first row first column means here 2x1 plus x2 plus 5 times x3 is my first entry. So here first row second column means this entry. First row second column, that is here x1 plus 3x2 minus 2x3, that is first row second column is this entry. Here first row third column is this entry. So that is 5x1 minus 2x2 plus 4 times x3. So here this is the matrix of order 1 row and 3 column. First column, second column, third column, and write this column vector as it is here which is equal to x1, x2 and x3. So here, so which is equal to, here again matrix multiplication. This is the 1 cross 3 matrix, that is 1 row and 3 column. This is 3 row and 1 column. Here I will write the order. Here this matrix, here this is the 1 cross 3 matrix, and so this is my first matrix, and this matrix is the 3 row and 1 column. So the resultant matrix is 1 cross 1 matrix. So here this is equal to first row first column. So here element wise, so multiply this with this. So here x1 into 2x1 plus x2 plus 5x3 plus this element with this element x2 x1 plus 3x2 minus 2x3 plus this element with this here 5, so this is x 3 times 5x1 minus 2x2 plus 4x3. So here from here to here, so this is, so that is not part here, which is equal to, so here multiply this. So this is equal to 2 times x1 square plus x1 x2 plus 5 times x1 x3. So here I am multiplying x1 to this first bracket, 2x1 square x1 x2 plus 5 times x1 x3 plus here I am multiplying x2 to this second bracket, that is x1 x2 plus 3 times here this is x2 square minus 2 times x2 and this is x3 plus multiply x3 to this bracket. So 5 times x1 x3 minus 2 times x2 x3 plus 4 times x3 square. So which is equal to, first write x1 square coefficient x2 square and this x3 square. Here 2 times here x1 square plus 3 times x2 square plus 4 times x3 square. So here now this is x1 x2 and this is another x1 x2. Here this is 2 times x1 x2, this is x1 x3, 5 times x1 x3 and this is 5 times x1 x3. So plus 10 times x1 x3. Now here come to 2 times x2 x3 minus 2 times x2 x3 minus 2 times x3 x3, that is minus 4 times x2 and x3. Now here all the terms are covered, so that is q equal to, so here this is the quadratic form corresponding to this matrix A. So here this is the quadratic form corresponding to this matrix A. So here A is a matrix of order 3 cross 3, that's why take x is a column vector of order 1 cross 3 and A is a matrix of order 3 cross 3 and take the transpose of this column vector, that is row vector. So here this is one matrix of order 1 cross 3, this is one matrix of order 3 cross 3. So here with the help of these two matrix you will get the matrix of order 1 cross 3, first column, second column, third column. So here multiply this whole, so this matrix with this matrix. So here this is the matrix of order 1 row 3 column. So this is the matrix of order 3 row 1 column. Here 1 row 3 column, 3 row 1 column. So here resultant matrix is 1 cross 1. So that is this. So here in this way you can write the quadratic form corresponding to this matrix A. So here this is for 1. So here answer for 1. So here A corresponding to this. So here corresponding to this matrix, this is my quadratic form. Now I want to write the quadratic form corresponding to this matrix B equal to. So here please pause and write. I hope all of you write here. So here I will remove this. Now I don't have space, so I will use this space also to calculate. Now I want to write the quadratic form corresponding to this 4 cross 4 matrix. So here x is the column vector of order 4 row and 1 column. That is here x is the, and x transpose is row vector. So here the quadratic form corresponding to matrix B is, so here corresponding to the matrix B is q equal to x transpose B x. So here B is a 4 cross 4 matrix. Yes, x is 1 cross 4 matrix. So here B is 4 cross 4 matrix. So here x is 1 cross 4 matrix. So this x transpose is again x transpose is here 1 cross and 4 matrix. So this is 1 cross 4 matrix. So here I will write. So here I will write x bx. So this is equal to, right here x1, x2, x3 and x4. 1 row 4 column. So write this B matrix which is given here 0, 1, 2, 3 and here 1, 2, 3. This is 4. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 3, 4. This is 5 and 6. Now take here x equal to here x1, x2, x3 and this is x4. Now, so here this is the matrix of order 1 row 4 column. So here this is 4 row 4 column. Here this is matrix, here this is matrix of order 1 row 4 column and here second matrix is of order 4 row and 4 column. So here resultant matrix is of order 1 cross 4. So here first I will multiply these two matrices. Here this is equal to, here first row first column, x1 into 0, x2 into 1, x3 into 2, x4 into 3. So here 0 into x1, that is 0. Here direct 0 into x1 I will write. So here no need to write 0 into x1. So 0. Here this is x2 plus 2 times x3 plus 3 times x4. So this is my first position. Now first row, first column is first position. Here first row second column means second position. That is here I will write x1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3 plus 4x4. So first row second column is my second position. First row third column is my this position. That is 2 times x1 plus 3 times x2 plus 4 times x3 plus 5 times x4. So here first row fourth column is my last position. So here 3 times x1 plus 4 times x2 plus 5 times x3 plus 6 times x4. Now last is x1, x2, x3 and x4. So here now this is the whole matrix of order 1 row 4 column. First column, second column, third column, fourth column, and this is the 4 row and 1 column. So here this whole is the first row 4 column. So this is here, this is my this matrix, and now this matrix is 4 row and 1 column. So here this is my this matrix, and this 4 cross 1 is this matrix. So here the resultant matrix is of order 1 cross 1. So here resultant matrix is of order 1 cross 1 means I will get expression. So which is equal to here first row first column means here multiply this element with first element, multiply this element with second element, multiply this element with this third element, multiply this fourth element with this fourth element. That is here I am writing x1 into here x2 plus 2 times x3 plus 3 times x4. Here multiply this element with this element. Now multiply the second element with the second element, that is x2 times here x1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3 plus 4x4 plus multiply this third element with this third element, that is x3 times here 2x1 plus 2x2 plus 4x3 plus 5x4. Here I will write here, I don't have space. Here multiply this fourth element with this fourth, that is x4 into here 3x1 plus 4x2 plus 5x3 plus 6x4. So here, so this is equal to here multiply x1 to this first bracket, multiply x2 to this second bracket, multiply x3 to this third bracket, and multiply x4 to this fourth bracket. Here carefully multiply. This is equal to here x1 x2 plus 2 times x1 x3 plus 3 times x1 and x4. So here this is my first bracket. Now come to here plus here x1 x2 plus 2 times x2 square, here x2 plus 3 times x2 x3 plus 4 times here 4 times x2 and x4 plus now solve, multiply this here 2 times here x1 x3 plus 2 times x2 x3 plus 4 times x3 square plus 5 times x3 and x4. Now here this bracket plus here this is 3 times x1 x4 plus 4 times x2 x4 plus 5 times x3 x4 plus 6 times x4 square. Now here combine carefully. So here first write, so here this is 2x2 square. Here first write the square term. This is 2x2 square, this is 4x3 square, and this is 6x4 square. Here x1 square is not there. Here which is equal to, here which is equal to 2x2 square plus 4x3 square plus 6x4 square. Here square term is covered. Now so this is x1 square. So here I will first here I will underline with one line. So here this is x1 x2 and this is here x1 x2. We can find here nowhere is x1 x2 here. So that's why this is 2 times x1 and x2. Now, so x1, x2 is covered. x1, x3. So here, this is, here I will make 2 underline. Here, this is 2 times x1, x3. Now find another x1, x3. That is, this is 2 times x1, x3. Here, I will make double underline with red pen. Here, this is plus 4 times x1, x3. So here other x1, x3 is not there. Now x1, x3 is covered. Now come to here, this is x1, x4. Here I will make 3 underline 1, 2, 3 for x1, x4. This is 3 times x1, x4. Here find x1, x4. x1, x4, nothing, x1, x4. Here this is 3 times x1, x4. Here 3 underline, 3 underline. So here this is 3 plus 3 plus 6 x1 and x4 plus, now x1, x4 is covered. Now come to here x2, x3. Here x2, x3 I will make underline with black pen. So here this is x2, x3 1, 3 x2, x3 and x2, x3. Here this is 2 times x2, x3. So here 3 plus 2, that is 5 times, here 5 times x2 and x3. Now come to here black x2, x4. Here I will 2 times, here I am making 2 times underline x2, x4. Now find x2, x4. Here nothing. Here this is x2, x4. Here 4 plus 4, 8 times. Here 8 times x2 and x4. Now come to x3, x4. So here x3, x4. Here 3 underline x1, 2, 3. x3, x4. 5 times x3, x4. And this is 5 times x3, x4. 3 underline. So here 5 plus 5, that is 10 times x3, x4. Here everything is covered. Now here this is 2x1 square, square terms. 2x1 square, 4x3 square and 6x4 square. Now red line, 1 underline here x1, x1, 2 times x1 square, x1, x2. Red line, double underline, 2 times x1, x3, 2 times x1, x3, 4 times x1, x3. Red, 3 underline, 3 times x1, x4, 3 times x1, x4, 6 times x1, x4. Now here black, 1 line, 3 times x2, x3 and this is 2 times x2, x3. 3 plus 2, 5 times x2, x3. Now black, double line, 4 times x2, x4, 4 times x2, x4, 8 times x2, x4. Now this is black, triple line. Here 5 times x3, x4, 5 times x3, x4, 10 times x3, x4. So here this is the quadratic form corresponding to this matrix B is of order 4 cross 4. So here matrix is of 4 cross 4. That's why here I take x is a vector of 1 row and 4 column. Sorry, 4 row 1 column. So this is 4 cross 4. This is row vector 1 cross 4. So here multiply this first row first bracket, first row first column, this first row second column, this bracket, first row third column, this term, first row fourth column, this position. So here this is matrix, first row 4 column, this is 4 row 1 column. So again multiply this element with this first bracket, second element with second element, this bracket, third element with third element, this bracket, fourth element with fourth element. So simplify this, you will get this quadratic form Q equal to, here you will get quadratic form Q equal to corresponding to this matrix B. So here in this way you can solve the how to write quadratic form corresponding to this matrix A is of order any 4 cross 4. Thank you.